Hello guys, my name is Benjamin and this is DevApps Consult. Today we'll be looking at this great library that most developers use, but this tutorial will basically be about comparing the free version of Jquery Datatable with the paid version. How efficient are both, how easy are both, and how faster the other is compared to the other. Okay, so first we will download the Jquery Datatable library. Go to datatables.net and it will take you to the free version of Jquery Datatable. And if you want the paid version, which we will look at in the part 2 of this tutorial, then you go to editor.datatable.net. So as you can see, one is blue and the other is red. Okay, so when you log on onto their website, you go to download, and then you can download the latest version of Jquery Datatable. This is the download page. You scroll down, and then click on the download tab, and then click on the download files button. I have already downloaded it, so I won't download again. So you do, and let's continue this tutorial. As you can see, this is my zipped file, tables.zip. So right click and then extract to the folder name Datatable. Again, I've already done that. So if you scroll up here, you see the extracted file. Then they are grouped, also structured, CSS, images, and JavaScript. So go ahead and do that, and we will create our project next. Okay, so next we will dive right into it and then create our C# MVC project. As you can see, I have already created a Datatable free version project right here, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will walk you through how to create an MVC web project. So you click on the create new project and then you select ASP.NET Web Frameworks here. ASP.NET Web Framework here. And then you click the next button. You decide whatever name you want to give it, the location you want to store your files, and then the .NET framework you want to use. Then you click on create. As I said, I have already created a project already, so I wouldn't need to create another, but for the sake of the project, for the sake of these tutorials, I just want to walk you through how to create an MVC project. And then when you click on create here, pop-ups shows, and then you select whether you want an empty project, a project with web forms, or an MVC project. What we will be doing is an MVC project, so we will choose MVC. Then we click on create. Okay, so our project has been created. This is the name of the project, web application one, and then these are the files here in the solution explorer. So we have the views, we have our JavaScript here. This is the model folder, the fonts, and then the controller. And this is our generated CSS file. So immediately you create the project, Visual Studio generates all these files for you. So let's run it as it says, see what shows up. Okay, so this is what is on our generated web page. You see, it gives a brief description of what ASP.NET is, what it can be used for. Okay, great. So let's end this and add our downloaded the table files. So first, go to where you extracted your files. Mine is in downloads, the table, and then copy the CSS files here into content. Save and then copy the JavaScript files also into scripts, just like we did for the CSS. So here you select, drag, and then drop it here. These are our JavaScript files, and then these are our CSS files. Okay. Now let's go into the view. There is a about view, a contact view. We don't need them, so you let them select and then hit the delete button. And then there's a shared folder which contains the layout of the web design. So over here you find some structured HTML code, basic stuff. You have the head, you have the body, and then inside the body you have the render body function, which links all the other pages to this skeleton. So let's again go ahead and take out some stuff. Yeah. This, and then you leave one inside the render body function. Okay. Now let's call our library files into our project. And then the table. Close this. Put that here. See how easy it is to just drag and drop the files into your project. It does all the linkages and everything for you. Okay, so let's save this. Then go into our main view, which is the index page. Let's take out this from here to here. And since it's a Bootstrap framework, let's say 12 means it should take the full size of the web page. Okay. Let's change this header to Jquery Datatable tutorial. Bracket free version. Okay, let's just part one here. Let's save this and then create our HTML table here. Let's give it a class of table. It's an inbuilt Bootstrap class in the Bootstrap CSS. And then the table header, table, and the th. So we will actually be hard coding some data into our table. Okay, and then we'll move to our body. Okay, table row and the table data. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it 4 times and hard code and the ID one, the code 001, description, just the tutorial. Active, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Let's see. Okay, so this is our view without Jquery Datatable attached to it. Let's run it and see how it will look. Okay, this is how it looks currently. ID is 1, code is 001, description just a tutorial, active yes, cool. Now let's try and attach Jquery Datatable to it, and let's see how it will look like. Okay, so I have made a couple of changes and then additions to the project. First of all, I initialized JavaScript document here, saying immediately the project runs, we should call this syntax. So first create a JavaScript block, and then inside it you call the document.ready function, and inside it you initialize a variable called table list, and this is actually the data table initialization syntax, the basic syntax that calls the library. So this is the ID of our table here, and then this is the data table function that calls the library. So again, let's see, and then run our project and see how it looks. Okay, so here Jquery Datatable allows us to select certain number per view. You can also search your data here. Then you can also paginate through your data. So in case you have a lot of data, it's auto paginates for you, and you don't actually need to write any information to search for anything. It does that behind the scene, easy, efficient, and it makes coding faster. Okay, so now we've learned how to create a basic Jquery Datatable, and next we will look at how to connect this table to a database, and we'll be using Microsoft SQL Server, and we will also learn how to write stored procedures, because we will be performing CRUD operations: create, read, update, and delete. So let's go for a break. When we're back, we will get back into how to create a CRUD operation with Jquery Datatable, the free version. Okay guys, before we go, there's one thing I would really want us to take note of, and this is how we arrange our files in the layout page. We really need to be very, very careful, otherwise it will affect the display of Jquery Datatable, and that's one thing a lot of people find difficulty in doing, and therefore you often hear complaints about buttons not showing, this not appearing, etc., etc. The free version is such that you need to arrange it accordingly. So first of all, these are my CSS files up here, and you would realize that I first call datatable.min.css, Jquery datatable.min.css, button.bootstrap.css, Airtable.bootstrap4.main.css. Again, pattern bootstrap4. Select.bootstrap4.css. Select actually makes it possible for you to see what you've selected in a table by highlighting that a particular row. And then after I initialize all my CSS in an orderly manner, I call Jquery. The first script I call is Jquery. And then after I call Jquery, I come down here to the footer area and I call the JSZip PDF make, which convert your table into a PDF file, and then VS font, Jquery Datatable.main, bootstrap, buttons, flash, which is needed in the free version for the buttons to show, and then buttons.html, main.5. To cut everything short, all these files are very, very important and are dependent on each other. So if you take one out or you place one at a position where it's not supposed to be, it will affect the display of Jquery Datatable. So I've added a button to the table view, which I call by using these scripts. And then the ones up here. And then this is the CSS for the buttons as well. And I go to my main page view, realize that I call a DOM object, and I assign BF strip to it. The B actually means buttons. So basically, you are telling Jquery the table that you are adding buttons to the table. If you take this out, the buttons won't show. So you always need to include the BF strip DOM object. Paging is true, length change is true, and then again select the file that we added here. Select .bootstrap.main. It's also there, and then we are saying that show the selected row. And then these are the buttons we have added. We've added an add button. Let me take these out. We've added an add button. The text is add. Attribute is add. For now, I have placed an alert in the action function block for us to know which button we have clicked. So the alert says add, and then this is an edit button. The alert also says edit, and then this is a delete button with a delete alert. So these three buttons is what we are going to use for our CRUD operations. And then these are extensions, button extensions, that we say, okay, convert the data in the table to a CSV file, an Excel document, or a PDF. file. So this is basically how you add buttons to your table. First, you declare your DOM object, and then you write the code for the button. You add the button codes. Now, in your table, nothing changes. All you need to do is just add this ID table list, which is the ID of Jquery Datatable. So any changes you make here affects this table because of this ID. So let's run and let's see how the buttons appear. Okay, so if you can see right here, these are the buttons we added. We added the add, and then this is the alert. We added the edit. This is the alert. The delete. This is the alert. And then we want to convert this to PDF. So we say convert to PDF first. And then this is the alert with the name. It says homepage Jquery Datatable tutorial. When we open the file, you see the table we have created converted to PDF. Same for the Excel as well. So this is also a great tool for reporting. If you are asked to convert data to PDF or Excel, this is a great way to do that. And then if I select you realize that I can select and then deselect, and anytime I select, it shows here one row selected. And then also you can view the data in ascending order or in a descending order. When you click on it, the arrow changes. Same for the description, you can do so for each column. For instance, let's add more data to our table. Let's try. So I'll just copy and paste and change this to 2. Change this to 3. Change this to 4. 5. Oh, I skipped this. 6. Okay. And let's change some of the Boolean variables to no for demo purposes. No. Just, and let's add, let's say, just a free tutorial. And let's pay tutorial. And then free. Let's see. Load the page. Okay. We have 6 datas. This is 1. This is 2. And you realize anytime you change, what we've selected is highlighted. Great. Now, if I want to search for items with the boolean value no, click on no, they all come. If I click on, if I search yes, sorry, they all also show. If I search just a tutorial, all the items with just a tutorial will show. If I say just a free tutorial, then it gives us the specific. Just a free tutorial, just a paid tutorial, then it gives us the specific. Okay guys, so this ends the first part of the tutorial. This was just an introduction. And in this video, we learned how to download the Jquery Datatable library, how to create an MVC project, how to properly arrange and include Jquery Datatable library files into our project. And at one point, I need you all to take note of and be careful how you arrange your files. We also learned how to link our Jquery Datatable with our HTML table using an ID. And then we also learned how to include and work with Jquery buttons by initializing the DOM object BTF strip. The tools we used were Microsoft Visual Studio. Mine is 2019, but you can use any version for this tutorial. And then we used the Jquery Datatable library. All additional files of the library was downloaded from datatables.net/download. You can download any file you want depending on what you want to do. So if you want to select, you download the select JS file, and then you can include it into your project. Okay, there is one thing I failed to mention. I made some changes to the structure of my project. So inside the content folder here, when you expand, you realize that I created a CSS folder, an images folder, a JavaScript folder, and a CWF folder. If you expand the CSS, all the CSS files related to the Jquery Datatable libraries are placed here. All the images related to the library is placed here. All the JavaScript files related to the library are all here. And this is a Flash export, which enables the buttons to appear. So the Datatables.buttons scripts depends on this file. So please take note of the structure. They are all placed inside the content folder and included into the project as such. Again, all the files can be downloaded on the Datatable website. When you log on, then you go to downloads. That is there. Click this button. All the files are here. All the files, and then you can download or copy the CDM files. Once you use the npm install yarn boa, you get composer, depending on which language or which approach you are using. We are programming in C#, and therefore for the sake of the tutorial and the level, I feel downloading the hard files is best. Okay, guys, so thank you for staying. See you in the next video. There is a link in my description that teaches you how to make money off your YouTube content or tutorial or making money online. It is very, very relevant and a great resource, and I felt the need to share with you all. Okay, if you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly hit the subscribe button, share and like, share and like, share and like. Thank you.